do this.
Okay.
What episode is this? 32?
32.
I thought I saw it was 31.
Third 31? Episode from, you can pull that right up if you want to if you want to lean back and relax.
Okay.
This is 33, right? 32?
Just 32.
32.
Dirty Fun was our boy Blake.
All right. That hadn't even been uploaded yet. It's going to be interesting. Got a little drunk on that one.
That's all right.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Before we jump into this episode, I have a few pieces of business to discuss. First and foremost, thank you to the Paramount building, the LostOgle.com, Patrick Riley for allowing us to record here. It's been a real pleasure. This feels legit. Like I feel legit. As legit as I could feel doing a podcast.
It feels good.
Yeah. So thank you to you guys. And then also thank you so much to Anthem for sponsoring us.
AnthemBrewing.com.
Having a delicious Ride or Die PA, one of their, I believe it is their newest beer.
It is their newest beer, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is hands down the best beer they've created.
I'll go out on a limb and say that it's a strong beer.
It's a very strong beer. We found that out the hard way last time.
Yeah, I felt bad the next day. Anthem beer, if you want to feel bad the next day, AnthemBrewing.com. Also, FatBison.com, our friend Matt.
Yes.
He hooked us up with this beautiful sign that we're hanging in our studio. It's kind of in the dark right now. We're still working out the kinks.
Oh, we're going to put lights on it. It's going to be a whole fancy feast.
We're going to cover it in cat food, put it under a hot lamp.
Yeah.
Keep it smelling good in here. FatBison.com. Beautiful, hardwood, handcrafted signs. They make great gifts for dads.
Total. That thing's no joke. Like, it's a solid piece of, and it's burned, right?
No, it's painted. It's carved and then painted, lacquered, and hung with care and pride.
It's very nice.
So, and that's really about it. You can go to our website, boyspodcast.com. It's the hub of all things boys.
There's a couple of links on there. There's a gold donate button. We just put up a new Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon is really cool. It's a way you can subscribe to us and you can elect to give us $1 a month, $3 a month, whatever. Name your price.
Anything helps.
Yeah. And you have helped, so thank you to those of you who have donated. And yeah, without further ado, Jennifer Denise Lynch.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
You made it.
I made it. I got a little lost on my way over here. I was telling Josh I got turned around.
It's easy to do over here. The streets get all wonky, and I noticed a bunch of policemen.
I saw them
right in front of
just sitting there.
Did you see them in front of because we're centrally located here in the heart of downtown Oklahoma.
Literally the heart of downtown.
Beautiful view of the prison. Beautiful view of the Devon Tower. Some say it might be the same thing. I don't know, but yeah,
potato.
We're right across the street from this little gaming retro pub, Flashback. There were a shitload of cops out in front of it.
That's the place. I've only heard tell. I didn't know that was it right there.
We like to go over there after the podcast sometimes. Yeah, it's a nice little walk. It's a nice
it's free play. We'll give a quick shout out to Flashback Retro Pub.
Let's hear it.
Our neighbors.
Free play. You don't know who we are, but we know who you are.
Oh yeah, we do. We know you. I'm talking to you, bartender. Anyways, that's creepy. Thanks for coming.
Yes, absolutely.
I have a quick story. We thought we were going to have to work late today. Josh and I work together, live together, sleep together, bathe together. And we thought we were going to be late. So we were like, 7:15,
right.
We got here at 5:45?
Yeah.
And we're thinking what are we going to do to pass some time?
Yeah.
We thought about going over to Flashback, but I was like, I'm going to wait and have one of these delicious anthems when we hit record. And we decided to stay here. So I had my work camera with me. So we're taking photos.
Right. Quote.
We desperately need a photo, like a promo photo, just like a band does, just like any,
sure.
business owner, anybody does. I have my cool leather jacket on, have my new t-shirt on. And
what t-shirt is that?
It's the band Warpaint.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I went and saw them in Dallas last Friday.
Band of babes.
Awesome. Oh, band of wonderful people. I got to meet them.
There we go.
Wonderful. And babes. I mean, there's no denying they're pretty women.
Yes. And super talented.
Yes. All of the above. Anyways, had all my gear on, even though my leather jacket makes me look like a 90s stand-up comedian. Yeah. My friend Matt calls me Dennis Leary when I'm wearing it. Yeah. And so we had this inside joke, and I'll anytime he gets close to me, I'll push him away and I'll be like, hey, don't touch the leather. He loves it. Anyways, so we're taking these photos and I'm I'm the least photogenic person I've ever met. I mean, you're a pretty photogenic person.
Am I?
I would say both of you are.
Thank you. I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like there's a lot of weeding out when photos are taken. And so, but as long as you get one, that's all that matters.
Right.
So,
You could take like 100. And as long as you get that one where my chin is there.
That's all I ever hope for is that one.
I would look like a thumb sticking out of a turtleneck or something.
But see,
a human hot dog.
yeah. The thing I don't enjoy is when someone like you're say you're hanging out, happens from time to time, you're out having a couple of beverages, having a good time. And someone in your crew is taking pictures. I'm not calling anybody out. Everybody does it. But then they post it without asking you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to approve it. Like if I've seen somewhere I'm like, I look like total dog shit, and you posted that on the internet. I don't appreciate that.
I feel like a lot of my friends, at least like ladies, are pretty good about being like, I'm posting this picture. And then, if one of us is like, no, then we'll redo it.
Right.
But
do they pass around the phone or is it like show and tell?
Well, it's got both.
Okay.
It depends.
Okay.
If someone's like, I need to see that closer, then they'll pass it over. But it's usually just like a general sweep.
Like you're reading
and
to
they're
a
like,
classroom.
I look great. I'd want to post this picture. So,
yeah.
but yeah.
I say that, but I do the same thing. Like I take pictures of people all the time. And I just post it.
Just post it.
I just don't. And it's not because I feel like I'm better than anyone or anything like that. It's just like if I'm out at a social gathering, like the last thing I want to do is be in a photo. Because I have a beer in my hand. I'm usually sweaty. Like it's not a good thing
not
for
the time.
me.
I will say though, Sunday we all hung out. We got together at the pump bar, and Rachel came by the server. I don't know what you call it. Cocktail waitress employee.
Yeah.
She came by and wanted to take a group picture of us. So she took one to post to the pump page. And they did one of those. I forgot what she called it, but the one where boomerang. Everything moves. I've never done one before, but we did one. And turns out Robbie looked the best out of everybody in the picture.
I didn't even see this picture.
Oh, with the thumbs up. You killed it with the thumbs up.
You should find it.
Enough about social media and photos. We're here for our friend JD.
Okay,
yeah, JD, owner of Broad Shop.
Yes.
And that's
proprietor.
Broad, SHOPPE. Proprietor, owner.
Whatever word you want to use.
So I got online, as I do with guests. I mean, we know each other, but we're not like super close, you know.
Yeah.
And I was reading about Broad Shop, reading how it got started, looking at some of the merchandise. My lovely wife owns some things from your shop.
Yes.
We she's purchased some things from your pop-ups in the past and whatnot. And I just thought it had a cool message. And like, I'm like the least PC person I know. So like, I'm just going to be totally honest and like cut all bullshit.
Yeah, let's
like,
talk about it.
yeah, I'd love to. Reading the description, I was like, man, this is really cool. And I'm like super open to it. But, I don't even know where I'm going with this. It's just like being this like 35-year-old dude. I'm like, man, like this would not have existed in my world like 10 years ago.
Right.
Or at all 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So explain to me, like, give me your elevator pitch, like on how you thought up this idea and what it involves. I'm putting you on the spot.
Honestly, okay. So last year, well, I guess I'll get down to the nitty gritty, but so I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer and I had to go through chemo and I wasn't able to work. So I was kind of stuck in my apartment all day, every day. And it just kind of started with me becoming obsessed with Instagram and just finding a ton of women who were doing similar things, running small businesses, promoting other women doing things. And I just thought that was so incredible. And I didn't start out Broad Shop to kind of emulate that, but I was very inspired by that. And at one point, during my treatment, I was just like, I have to do something right now. I wasn't working. I was like, I need some sort of income. So I started sewing, and I started sewing kind of vintage inspired pieces that were mostly inspired by what my mom made for me, like her McCall's patterns. So like play suits, I guess. But I don't really like saying that for adult women because it's weird. But anyway, that's what they are.
More or less.
Yeah. So I just kind of started doing that and selling them. And then I was having a lot of issues, not a lot, but enough, hand sewing for people who wanted things very specific. And I was on a lot of steroids and had a very short temper. And so I was just kind of like, fuck it, I can't really do this so much. So I started to transition. That's when I created Broad Shop. I was selling everything on Etsy before. And then I just started a website and I started contacting women who were making things. A lot of the stuff I sell, it's gift shop inspired. So smaller things, pens, paper, products, etc. And yeah, so I just kind of started doing that. And then I took the focus off of myself, started promoting other people. And now I just kind of manage the website and curate, so to speak. But
that's a fancy word.
Yeah. Thank you. That's actually what my degree is in museum curation. So I was like, well, this is applicable. So that was kind of in a way, my thought process, you know?
It's kind of like a museum of goods and things that are definitely
art.
Yeah, tailored and, you know, what's the word? Curated.
Yeah.
Keep using that word. Kind of like I curate this conversation all night, you know, with my friend Josh here. So yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, like I said, you know, being the dumb dude that I am, it's like a virtual collaboration of goods created by independent female identifying makers. Do you have people that you sell through or sell through you that are female identifying but might be in a man's body? Or
not right now, but I'm absolutely open to that. So that's kind of why I wanted to make that scope a little more broad.
Like all encompassing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. A broader. I see.
There we go.
You're curating a joke there, aren't you? Well, no, speaking of, so, okay, just to bring this back to me as I always do.
Go on.
I'm a big Against Me fan. The band, the singer, Tom Gable is now Laura Jane Grace. He was on a radio show that Josh and I listened to quite often. She just came out with a book. Sorry.
I didn't know that. Yeah. All right. That's cool. Yeah.
I read it in one day. It's like 350 pages, real page turner, like really into it. And that, you know, the transition and the dysphoria and all that, it has always fascinated me. Now, I say always, but in the last 5-6 years or so. And, you know, when I saw the female identifying, there was a really cool part of the book where when Tom became Laura, the first thing people asked her was, well, does that make you gay? You know, do you like guys? Do you like girls? Like, how does that work? And she summed it up really poignantly on the radio show. It's like, you know, just because I identify as a female doesn't mean that I'm attracted to male or female.
Right, exactly.
And, you know, to be politically correct is one thing, but like to just accept somebody for whatever whatever parts they have or pieces, and then whatever they choose to do with those pieces, or maybe they want to do both pieces, or like that's just like so cool to me. And I don't know where I'm going. I'm just like babbling.
Okay.
Now I'm nervous. Like,
am I making you nervous? Is it me?
I'm curating some sweat on my forehead right now.
It's probably that jacket.
But yeah, it's cool that you're like all encompassing like that.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I'm not being like, yes, you're right, but thank you. Yeah.
It's interesting because I mean, a lot of stuff you have is like feminist, like, you know, it's girl power without being like, oh, scary, like to a guy like me.
Okay,
you know?
like
a cis male.
There we go.
My wife also has some products that you, what's the word? See, whatever. Anyway,
collected.
She's purchased some of your things, and I love going to your. I mean, we've done pop-up shops with you. What I really like about it is it's feminist without without being that beat you over the, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of that going on, and it seems like right now there's with everything there's extremes of everything,
right?
And you take a much, and everything's kind of softer color, so it's a more softer approach of like just doing stuff, you know, just selling things. Just there's these people who are artists, they got these things. They're not going to beat you over the head with it. Yeah. It's just cool stuff.
Not to be too militant.
But they're cute. There's some of them that are they have a literal message written on it.
Yeah.
That is like, fuck. But it's like all cutesy. Like, but for real.
Like, I drink male tears.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. It's cute, but it has a real poignant message which I think is not lost upon people. And I think that's awesome that you're doing
Thank you.
So what are you doing now? Like what's going on right now with Broad Shop and all this stuff?
Well, I'm planning another pop-up at Speakeasy with Champion Vintage over here and Josh.
Yeah.
And so it will be, December 3rd, which is a Saturday.
It'll be actually the Saturday that your this episode will post on the 2nd. So
tomorrow. Yay, that's exciting.
It's going to be packed.
I hope so.
With guys that could learn a thing or two. Because I'll tell you what,
we've got billions and billions of listeners.
We know our demographic, and you know, let's just be honest here. Like, you know, the word feminist, like it scares me, or it used to, or maybe it still does a little bit. And I want to talk about that tonight. I want to be like totally honest.
Okay.
Like, you know, we're in a changing world right now. You know, right now it feels like it's changing a little bit to the bad. You know, but things swing back and forth. You know, and after the election and everything, it's like people freaked out on both sides.
Yeah.
Did you watch the election? Like,
I watched the election and like got wine drunk and cried my eyes out for hours.
You and me both.
Yeah.
You and me
Oh,
both.
man.
Oh my gosh. Boy, was it not like you were in a fucking nightmare?
Yeah. And then I woke up the next day hungover, just like dehydrated, mouth breathing. And I was like, is this reality? And then I had to go to work, and everyone, you could tell, like, everyone I work with had been crying. And we were just like, I don't really want to talk right now.
It was so insane. Erica went to bed around 10:30.
Yeah.
And she was like, wake me up when Hillary wins.
See? Oh, my God.
And I stayed up, and I had a glass of wine, which
felt
turned into
great.
about 6.
Yeah.
And pacing, you know, just, it was terrible. And it was all happening. And I was like, no, this is
This
a joke.
isn't right. Yeah.
This is, like, am I in some kind
LOL.
of fucking, like, glitch
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah.
And yeah, same thing. Woke up in the morning, went to work, and we work with a pretty liberal bunch, I would say. I
Yeah.
would say most people are pretty forward thinking. And like the shop was dead.
Yeah.
No one was joking around. No one was being themselves, except for maybe like the one or two trumpeteers that
Yeah.
worked there. And I was just like, man, is this going to be what it's like? And I thought it was going to go away after a few days, but there's like this lingering.
It's lingering. I think
Doom.
it's starting to pass a little bit. I think that people are starting to organize, or at least start to think about organizing and taking action on certain things. So I feel like that is promising,
Yeah.
you know, but it's still.
If we can get to any sort of silver lining, we talked about this on Bud's episode, but if we can get to any sort of silver lining, it gives us an opportunity to work together. And I don't mean like cross party lines. I mean as people who agree on things. Because fuck the party line. Like,
let's be honest.
man, I really, really try to be level-headed and accepting about things like that. But it's getting to the
I
point
feel like
where,
that's been thrown out the window.
you know how badly I just want to tweet like, fuck you. I fucking hate you.
I think
I'm
that-
tired of being nice.
I think what this election has done, aside from strike fear into a lot of people and then bring out the absolute worst in others, it's shown that the two-party system, the whole democratic system we have, it just doesn't work anymore.
Oh, it works for some people.
Right.
But it doesn't work. What it's supposed to do, it's not doing. And we have to find a way. And it's clear as day, the electoral college thing.
The electoral college.
Everyone's talking about, like, why do we still do that?
We're still not using a horse and buggy.
Yeah.
Why can't we vote like we're on Reddit?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and actually on my way over here on NPR, they were talking about they're still getting in votes from California. And based on the popular vote, Hillary is ahead by like 2 million votes now, still counting.
And it's growing.
Yeah. They were like, it's probably going to be about 3 million of a gap by the end of it. It's just like, what? Why?
Man.
Why?
And it would be totally different if there were two qualified, respected people.
That was the problem.
And we lost.
Yeah.
But the fact that she lost to a cartoon character,
Yeah.
like the evil dad from a terrible
Yes.
Saturday morning cartoon, it's, you know, maybe I sound like a fucking wiener or whatever, but it's just like, I can't accept it.
Yeah.
I can't accept it. And then the guy goes on to appoint these people.
Oh, God. That's another thing. It's just spiraling.
It just when you thought it could get no worse.
Yeah, right?
It's like you get Cotton from Hank Hill. Well, that one dude looks like him. What's his name?
Oh, I can't remember.
One of the old racist guys.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You'll
one
have
of
to
the
be
old-
more specific.
The short one that has a scowl. Wait, hold on.
The dad?
Well,
Hold on. I don't.
The
He's
dad
missing
on
his
King of the Hill?
shins. Yeah.
I don't remember. Anyway,
Yeah.
no shit. It's like just when you thought it could get no worse, it's getting worse and
It's
worse
getting
and worse.
worse.
And you know, I keep, you know, being that liberal, like I keep like holding on to something's gonna happen. Like the tape's gonna come out and he's gonna say like the N-word or something. But that's not gonna
Things
matter.
have been yeah, that's the thing. It won't even matter.
No, I mean, things are coming up to the actual day of voting, and people are still like, I don't know, man. Listen, he may not be the best, but he's got my best interest at heart.
I'm voting for him not because I like him, but which is something I heard.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Anyone but her is what I heard. And it's like,
But
you
then on the
know,
other side, anyone but him.
yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, let's be fair here.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of people who are like, you know, I'm a Bernie supporter, but I'm voting for Hillary because I don't want to vote for him. And that's great. I wish more people would have done that,
Yeah.
you know, but, and I'll be totally honest. Like, I mean, I was stoked, you know, to have the first female president. Like I was cool, totally cool with that. Like there was not a bone in my body that made me like hesitate to vote for a woman.
Right.
Like
Well, it's not.
it's long overdue.
She's a demon, but at least it'll be a step in the right direction of okay, we let a woman demon in the White House. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, the thing, like going back to 2008 when she was talking about running, and everyone was like, and she cried. I don't remember what she cried about, but
yeah.
what do you guys remember what that was
I
about?
don't recall what the crying thing was.
But then everyone was like, oh, she's too soft. That's why a woman will never be president, yada, yada. And then this election, everyone was like, oh, she's a hawk.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
like there's
yeah.
just,
It's like,
there's
what
no
happened in
balance.
4
Like,
years?
Where
yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on the Bernie train early,
Sure.
like most of us were.
Yeah.
But once he got fucked by the Democratic Party, I mean, literally bent over and just penetrated. I was going to vote for Hillary, or I did. I was fine with that, and I didn't defensively vote.
Yeah.
Like I voted for her because my views aligned with hers more than the
Right.
orange man.
Yeah.
Like it's simple,
Yeah.
And there was so many people, and I said this, on the Bud podcast, but there were so many people in line. The longest line I've ever stood in to vote. And I looked around and there was a surprising amount of women in line. I mean, there's always, it's 50-50. I get that. But like, I looked around, I was like, damn, okay, yeah, this might,
But
this
they were
might
all
be
secretly voting for Trump.
That's
playing
so
their
weird.
Candy Crush.
God damn it.
But the thing is, this isn't going to sway, girls coming up, like little girls coming up from like, I can't ever be president. Fuck yeah, you can.
Yeah.
She almost won it. She technically did win it. She won the popular vote.
Her speech, whenever she like gave a shout out to little girls, forget about it. I was just
Yeah.
like bawling in my car. Like,
It was
like, this was supposed to be your time.
It was powerful stuff. And, some say that she had the election stolen from her by Obama, years ago. And, that was his time. Like he won, he ran on this hope and change and all this stuff. And I drank the Kool-Aid back then. I proudly voted for the guy and I don't hate the guy.
Right.
No.
Not either.
I'm not completely happy, but I'm far from where I am right now.
Right.
Like,
I'm kind
Yeah.
worlds away.
I'm kind of sad to see Obama go.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
just to
sad
be in
about
my
it.
daily life to know that guy's my president. That's cool.
Him and Joe, Uncle Joe.
The memes. Let's talk about the memes.
They've been great. I don't remember like anything specifically right now, but everyone I've seen has just been gold, I feel like.
All the ones of Biden fucking with Trump. Like I left shit. There's one for like a passport or I don't know. They were all funny. They also did you see the video they made together? Or
Was it
not
the
made
one where Joe Biden was talking about the different
Yeah.
sunglasses?
Joe.
Oh,
sign.
yeah.
That was cute. That was a cute video.
Well, Eric and I agree, like, we're going to miss them when they're gone. Because, speaking of memes, can't go an episode without talking about memes. But I saw one, it was like, it showed the Obama family. And it said like 8 years, no sexual assaults, no, what's the word I'm looking for? There was no
Scandal.
drama, no
Yeah.
scandal. That's it. There was no scandal, no allegations, and it was just like a man, his wife, and their two lovely daughters.
Yeah.
One of them did shake their ass at a festival, and I did see
Because
that
she's a
on
kid.
Hook.
Come on.
I shook my
Who
ass at a
hasn't?
festival.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I did
swung
more
it
than
all
shook
around.
my-
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
of course, I was like in a little thing. I don't know, a little smock. I was trying to think of a word.
Think about it this
I
way:
was in a
if you
kilt.
spent the last 8 years living in the White House as a child/teenager, and you get a little taste of freedom, you're like, "Fuck it, I'm having a good time." And she had a good time.
Yeah.
I grew up in a White House as well, but it was a Christian White House. And boy, when I got
That's
that
the
little
same.
taste of
Oh,
freedom,
little taste of
Yeah.
I was smoking cigarettes
Oh, yeah.
and fingering and all
Yeah.
kinds. I mean, I was just out there. I
Is
was
that acid? Yeah, I'll take it.
yeah,
Thanks.
Yeah.
we out here, as they say. But yeah, I'm gonna
Is
miss
that
them.
what they say?
Well, that's what I say.
Okay.
Anyways, gosh, where was I going with that?
Obama, miss him.
Gonna miss him.
Yeah.
Gonna miss him.
Well, now we have to look forward to fucking at least 4 years of the Trump family. Can you call
What
them
is
that?
even going to happen to us?
Well, let me ask you
gonna
this,
happen to us?
Jennifer. As a feminist, as a woman, as a person,
Yes.
what are your thoughts on Melania and, her past and the way she presents herself now? I'd really like to know.
Okay, I feel like I don't know much about her. Don't know too much about her. I feel like there's been A lot of slut shaming, though. So I try to remove myself from that because I don't agree with it. But honestly, I don't know much about her. So I haven't tried to, say a lot.
I
so
understand.
I feel like I should do my research.
Right.
Yeah.
But, slut shaming is one thing. But a woman who married that guy.
That's the thing. I mean, she's Trump's wife. So there's that.
Well, I'm not slut shaming anybody. A woman could do whatever the hell she wants to do. I am guarantee you, when Donald Trump ran for president, threw his hat in the ring, I guarantee Milana wasn't going, oh, he's going to win. She's like, okay, do your thing.
Well, there's that recurring joke that he signed up like somebody would sign up for reality TV. And before you know, he's like, holy shit, I'm winning.
Right.
Like you see those pictures of him like looking blankly off into the distance, holding
there are
his
a lot of them.
KFC or whatever he eats all
Taking
the time.
90 minutes to have a conversation with Obama that was only supposed to last 15 because he had no idea what the hell he was getting into. I mean, it's a whole world of shit that's ridiculous. I mean...
That's what we're in store for.
But I think, I think the Melania thing is... Because everyone's talking about that girl-on-girl picture that came out or something.
I don't know about that.
There was like it was just modeling though. It was like pictures of her, like
Nude.
her breasts were out, and she was like hugging or maybe like giving a girl a kiss on the cheek.
But again, I think we are more enlightened or liberal. Here's the thing: if all of Trump's supporters, the Reds, the Republicans, who love Jesus, love guns, hate gay marriage, but yet it's totally fine for a woman to be naked.
It's
I'm like,
eroticized.
great, cool. Now let's just keep pushing that a little more. Like, what else can we get you guys to be cool with? Because if you're okay with the first lady being nude, that's totally fine. I'm totally cool with that. Maybe then you can open your eyes about other shit that you're being so fucking closeted about.
I think the thing with me is like, it is interesting because it is the first lady that has been like nude in a magazine, and I'm not slut shaming, like be nude. I could give a fuck less. But the fact that, on one hand, she was nude in a magazine, or he said these terrible things, terrible person. But then on the other hand, like the rightest people are following this guy. That's what fucks me up.
Right. Yeah.
Like if Hillary was like spread eagle and won, like fine. Like I don't care. Like whatever. But the fact that, these Christian fundamental, backwards ass, like homophobic, racist, whatever, classist, whatever you will say, anti-woman, whatever, they're so for this Trump guy, these conservatives. I'm like, what am I missing in between here? Where's there's a disconnect here.
When did they pass out the they live glasses to these guys? You know what I mean? Like, because you're not seeing something that's obviously right there in front of you. The dude's a billionaire, has nothing in common with you whatsoever. The fact that he's staying in New York City, which is costing taxpayers like millions of dollars for him because he wants to stay there and not, like, he said he doesn't want to stay in the White House because where he lives is far fucking better. The fact that he wants to keep his own private jet because the Air Force One's a piece of shit compared to what he's flying around in. Like, okay, this guy has your best interest at heart, flying a gold-plated jet around.
Damn it.
I know this conversation got so dark and I didn't want to talk about Trump, but
no,
like
it's
I said,
okay. I mean, it's where it goes, I guess.
It's like a hot blanket I can't get out from under.
Yeah.
Like, I've tried to distance. Yes.
Yeah, it's like a fart blanket.
KFC farts. Donald Trump's KFC flatulence is
they're
consuming
the best farts. And I've been told, everybody knows my farts smell the best.
This is great chicken. This is the best chicken. Anyways, so let's talk about something a little less depressing.
Please.
So let's talk about back when you got cancer.
Okay, back to cancer.
I want to know. No, I'm serious. Like that was a stupid joke. I curated a terrible joke, but I want to talk about that because I want to know what that felt like for you. And boys is a.
I would assume terrible, Rob.
Well, no shit, but I mean, I want to dig deeper.
Wasn't my best day.
Right.
So would you mind telling me like how and when you found out?
Do you want to hear the story?
I would love to hear the story.
Let me take a drink of this beer here.
Speaking of, would you hand me a
delicious? I'm drinking the
Ogletoberfest. It's a good one.
Anthem Brewing, great beer to talk about cancer too.
There we go.
You don't care that I say that, do you?
No,
okay.
I don't care.
Hey, we're all friends here. Just making sure.
All right.
Let's hear it.
So, it all started on a cold December night. So I was dog sitting. I was dog sitting for my roommate at the time, Sarah, and my boyfriend, who now it's our dog, but at the time it was just his dog. So I was dog sitting. Decided to let the dogs out. Hoo. Sorry.
Nice. It's a great song.
There we go.
At Baja Man.
So I went to let the dogs out. The door it pulled in, so they were like butting up against it. So I couldn't pull the door in. So I kind of grabbed Ayla, my dog. She's half husky, half lab. So she's like 60 pounds. But, so I kind of like pulled her back a little bit and my hand got caught underneath her collar. So whenever I opened the door, she just like took off and took me with her. So I ended up falling off of a back step. Fell like 2 feet. That's it. And, well, when I started to fall, I was kind of like tumbling. I was going to hit my face. So I did like a tuck and roll, kind of flipped over and I landed on my side. And when I did, I thought that I cracked a rib because it hurt like hell. Mm-hmm. I was kind of higher up. So the next day I went to work and I worked like 9 to 5. And I called one of my best friends, Teresa, in Seattle, who's a nurse. And she was like, you should probably go to the doctor.
So did you hurt the next morning?
I
like
hurt
it was like
all
a residual?
day. I was like, I think that I cracked a rib, which I didn't go to the emergency room because I was like, well, if it's a cracked rib, they can't do anything about it anyway. You know, what's the point?
I'll wait till the morning.
Yeah, I'll wait till the morning. And then I went to work, got home at 5, called her. She was like, go to the hospital. So I took a nap. Finally went to the hospital. I got there at like 9 p.m. I was in the waiting room for like 4 hours. Finally, this nurse comes to see me and he like has a little like ultrasound, like a portable thing, little cart. Mm-hmm. He comes over and he puts it, he was like, where's your pain? So I pointed to like my lowest rib and he put the thing on there and immediately he was like, we're admitting you. I was like, what? What's going on? He's like, you have internal bleeding in your liver that I can see. So I ended up having internal bleeding in my liver and my spleen. And the reason that was happening was because when I fell, I ripped my ovarian vein. Okay. Which like nobody even knew was a thing, including me. I was like, I've never heard of that. My nurses were like, me neither. So I was in the hospital for
and
like
they graduated
4 days.
medical school.
Yeah, right. They were like, that's a thing, I guess. So I was in the hospital for 4 days and everything was okay. And kind of during that time, my boyfriend and I, we were in the process of getting ready to move to Seattle. So I guess that happened 8 weeks before we were going to leave. So I got out of the hospital. I was supposed to have my checkup during that time. And the day of my checkup, their registration office at OU Medical Center was so backed up that even though I got there an hour early, I missed my appointment, like completely, just waiting in line. So I was like, well, shit. Okay. So I decided that I was just going to reschedule for whenever we got up to Seattle. So during that time, we packed up our stuff and we're driving for like a week across the country. And during that time, I had started just like bloating like really heavily and I was super uncomfortable and it just kept getting worse like every single day. It was just a cumulative, excuse me. And by the time we got to Seattle, I was just like in excruciating pain. It felt like my organs were overinflated balloons that were just like rubbing up against one another and I could like hear them in this way.
Like the way, like I can just imagine like if you were underwater.
Yeah.
And you can just hear like the things
That's
going
exactly what it was. Like I would move and I could hear these things and I was just like, that does not feel right. Nothing is right about this. So finally get to the doctor. I go to University of Washington and immediately this doctor looks at me and she's like, yeah, something's wrong. Come back tomorrow. We'll do an ultrasound. We'll get to the bottom of this. And I was like, all right. So I go back in the next day, do my ultrasound, and they found a 25 centimeter tumor growing off of my right.
Give me the size of your
10 inches. It was gigantic. That's why it was coming up like up here by my liver because it was just growing up.
I thought you were going to do like quarter with your fingers. You're holding up like a Subway sandwich.
A Nerf ball.
Yeah. So
it was football.
A football, yeah.
So 25 centimeters, it's like close to 11 inches. So it was 25 centimeters by 21 by 11. So like, boom. Like it was like watermelon
That's
size.
That's going to cost like $15 to ship UPS.
Yeah.
Like that's a big box.
That's a big box to ship. Box. So they were like, okay, well, we need to get in there like yesterday. And I was like, all right. So I found out on a Friday afternoon. We had been there 3 weeks. So we were like still unpacking. At that point, I'm like, shit, what do I do? Like, do I go back to Oklahoma? Do I stay here? Like, I have no idea. So I have my surgery on Tuesday morning. So now I have like a lovely scar that's 13 inches long. So it runs from my rib cage all the way down to my pelvic bone. So they ripped that baby out. And then It's really weird. I had an epidural.
Now, what is that?
Whenever
what is that
women
exactly?
have babies, they give epidurals to numb you, like from your armpits down.
Is that like a shot in your spine? or
No,
what?
it's like an IV in your spine.
Oh, okay,
really.
that's better. I was thinking like the fucking
Yeah.
giant thing with the...
Yeah, and like that's what I had always heard. I always heard that like they shove something in your spinal cord, and I was like, what? I don't want to do that. But I was so... Whenever that was happening before my surgery, I was like vomiting because I was so anxious that I was like, just do it. It was like I didn't even notice them put it in. So I had that for like 4 days, and then they finally pulled that out. And then whenever I could like pee and walk on my own, they finally let me go home. So I guess that was like 4 days. Then they gave me 3 weeks to recover. And then I started chemo, and that was really fucking weird. Like,
Can you explain what that makes you feel like?
Well, so before I started, I kind of wanted to like watch things that depicted it. So when I started, I was like, oh my God, this is nothing at all. Like, I watched Sex and the City because Samantha is diagnosed with breast cancer. So in the episode when she starts chemo, all the gals are sitting around like eating popsicles, just like laughing with one another. And that's not
kind of far
that's not
from
how
the
it
truth,
goes.
yeah.
But then also on the other end of that, I think I was watching American Horror Story. I don't remember which season. It might be Coven, but oh my God, it's not Faye Dunaway. Jessica Lange. She has cancer, and it shows her in chemotherapy, and it's just like people huddled together, like crying on one another. Not how it is either. You cry like when you're diagnosed, you cry at home, and then you go to the hospital and you get your shit done. So like it's not.
You have to take care of it.
Yeah. So it's not. There's kind of this. I kind of had to like remove myself from my emotional state when I was there, just because I was like, I have no choice. This is what I have to do right now. You know. So
Well, let me ask you this: so when you go in for treatment, were you surrounded with other people with cancer?
Well, part of the time. So I would go into the hospital and I would go do like my blood work, which is like first floor, general area. So I would see some people there. And then this was all at the University of Washington in their hospital. So then they would send me up to the top floor, and that's where they do chemo. So it's very removed from the rest of the hospital. And so so I'd go in at like 8, do my blood work, go upstairs, and then they would start off by giving me like a huge shot of Benadryl. So that helps with nausea, and then it just kind of puts you to sleep. So whenever you first start getting the actual like chemo drug, you won't get sick and
sure
like, be like super anxious.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So I would do Benadryl for like an hour, and then I would have Taxol, which was my actual chemo drug, and I would do that. It was a very slow drip. It was like 3 hours, I think. And then I would have my steroid, which was another like hour and a half. And so I had to do that. I had 6 infusions every 3 weeks. So it took 4 months to do.
Wow. What do you do when you're sitting there for that long?
Oh, well, the Benadryl, that's a good thing about Benadryl. It puts you to sleep. So I would be out for like the first couple hours. And then I would just like, once I got my routine down and I knew like what I could handle, and then I would just kind of order food and then watch TV. So, yeah. But, oh yeah. So usually the room I would be in, it would have like 4 stations, but then they all have curtains. So really you don't even see or hear anybody. And then half the time I was in my own room just because I'm special. No, I'm just kidding. No, people who have longer infusions, like over 4 hours, they would try to get them into a private room just so you won't have to deal with everybody like coming in and out all the time. So I got to do that, and that was pretty luxurious, I suppose. But
so can I ask, you started losing your hair?
Yeah.
Your body's going through changes?
Yeah.
Like, what was that like?
It was very strange. So I did my first infusion, and then I decided that I was going to go ahead and cut my hair off so that when it started falling out, they told, like, all the books that I read, they said to do that and just, like, keep a lint roller with you, which I ended up doing, actually. But so I was like, yeah, fuck this. I'm going to cut my hair off. Here we go. I'm taking control of this. And so my friend Teresa came over because I was like, I need you to do the back. And then I started, and I immediately panicked. And, like, my hands just started shaking. And I was like, I can't do this. So she had to chop all my hair off for me. And then it was maybe about 2 weeks after my first infusion that it started coming out. It was pretty slow. It was like I scratched my head, and then like I looked, and there were probably like 5 or 6 hairs. And then my pillow would be covered. And so then I got like really patchy towards the end. So I just had Philip, my boyfriend, cut my hair off, and he treated me like I was in the military. I was like, this is not Full Metal Jacket.
Right.
All right, I need you to calm down.
Yeah.
You're enjoying this too much.
Yeah. Like, go a little easy.
Yeah, and I was
Come
like,
on.
this isn't a happy haircut, okay?
No.
I can see Pip doing that.
Yeah, he was just like really into it. And I was like, I appreciate that you're being this accurate, but it hurts too.
Right.
But,
so what other changes were going on? Like, how did it make you feel?
Well, the worst thing was bone pain, which I'd read about, but like, and it just depends on everyone's treatment is different. Like, so for me, Taxol, the drug I was on, it like mostly targets the pelvic area. So it was in my hips and it would just like radiate down to my knees and my ankles. And the steroids would help with that for like the first 4 days, you know? So I would be like fucking gung-ho. I want to clean. I want to go out and adventure. And then like day 5 would hit me and I was like, I can't even get out of bed. And yeah, it was just so painful in my lower area. And then peripheral neuropathy is another thing that happens. It's just like numbness in your hands and feet. So
like in your fingers and toes or like whole hands or
both whole. Well, and that's the thing with like older patients that affects them way more because I'm younger. They said it wouldn't affect me as much and it didn't. It was really just like my pinkies and my heels.
That's pretty, yeah, that's not so
you
bad.
know, it wasn't bad
you had
at
good
all.
blood still,
yeah.
right?
So they were just like, you're young, you'll bounce back. And so like throughout chemo, like my levels stayed like pretty good, I suppose. I don't know.
Are you are you a religious person?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Ever have been? As a kid?
Not really. My parents got religious at a little bit like as I grew up, so I kind of missed that. So they're Baptists, but I kind of missed that.
When you were diagnosed or as you were going through this, did you ever like maybe I should like pray that I'm going to be okay? Because I know anytime I get like sick, and I've never been obviously that sick, but like sometimes I'll get a little scare about something in the past. I've had to go to the hospital and stuff, you know, nothing major, but like you get that. I mean, maybe it's the Christian guilt of growing up, but like I'll be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said goddamn so much, you know, like, just wondering if that ever crossed your mind.
No, that didn't really happen. I did have like my family members say like, oh, the church prayed for you today. And then that would make me feel guilty in this way, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
But no, other than that, that was about as religious as my experience got.
So from the time you got diagnosed to when you were cleared, how long of a span was that?
I was diagnosed on February 25th, and then I finished chemo on July 15th. So it doesn't sound that long, but it was like years.
It's a fucking eternity,
You know?
I'd imagine. Yeah, like every day.
Yeah.
It's funny because you said, you know, I got diagnosed this night, and then I came back the next day, and I'm like, that 12 hours must have felt like months.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you go home and just sleep like a baby?
No, I just sat. I don't really remember what I even did. But,
you were in shock,
I was
I'm
in
sure.
shock. Whenever she told me, she was like, well, they found something. I was like, okay. And she was like, it's a tumor, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, but it's not cancer, right?
Right. It's like an internal bruise or something.
Yeah, and she was like, well, like, that's what cancer is, honey, you know? But I was just like, okay. And then because I was working on my thesis at the time, I had actually walked the year before, and then I started having other health problems right around the time of my fall. So I ended up pushing back my thesis defense, and I had an awesome board, and they were like, just do whatever you need to do. And I told them I was moving to Seattle, and they're like, that's fine. We can do it long distance. And so whenever I got up there and the day I was diagnosed, I was like, this is just really bad timing because I'm trying to finish my thesis.
could we pause all this for like 6 months?
And she was just like, oh, honey. And I was like, it's okay. I'll figure it out.
Right.
Which I finished it. I finished it this spring, finally. I had to take that whole year off, but I had a great board. They were just like, we don't care. You just take care of yourself right now. So.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, right. I know. They're like, fuck you.
Let me ask you this also, just another question I have. Just this is like fascinating to me. Like, how did it feel to deal with like reactions of friends and family? Like we talked about the praying for you and stuff, but like, do you feel like your friends maybe like were a little more careful around you? Like, did things change? How did the dynamic work with friends? I mean, you have a pretty supportive group of ladies and guys around you. So like, how did that work?
Everyone was just so supportive the whole time. Really the only things that were said to me that I was just like, you probably shouldn't say that to a cancer patient, were from strangers.
Like what? Do you mind me asking?
Oh, well, actually, I guess I was done with my treatment, but yeah, I finished in July and I came back to visit here in September, and I went to the other room with Sarah, and the security guard, I didn't have any hair yet. And the security guard said, well, what happened to your hair? And I was so taken aback. I was like, well, I guess I shaved my head. Like, I didn't even know what to say. So I just like gave a really weak response. And Sarah was like, and like jumped in there and she was like, you really shouldn't ask people questions like that because you sound like a fucking asshole. She was like, the fact of the matter is that she has cancer and just finished chemo. And he was like, oh. And then that was it.
Way to be a feminist to make a guy feel like a dick.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
The guy needed
These
to feel
women,
like a dick.
yeah. And
You
I've seen him a couple times and I'm just like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You sounded so much like Sarah.
Yeah,
Another person I don't know that well, but that sounded exactly like her.
That's what she said verbatim.
That's awesome.
And then there was another time here again. I was sitting up at Speakeasy and a friend of mine was there and his girlfriend, who this was the first time I had ever met her. Oh, God. And she was talking about her uncle had cancer. So this made her an expert and was just like, well, the way to not get cancer is just to not eat like shit. Okay. So I'm sitting there and her boyfriend, my friend, says, like, I was looking at my phone trying to ignore her because I was like, this is a person I don't want to interact with.
Yeah.
So he was just like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, nothing. I'm just daydreaming about the sandwich I'm going to make when I get home. And she was like, see, if she would have had a salad instead of a sandwich, maybe she wouldn't have gotten cancer. I'm not even kidding.
It reminds me of that scene from Mean Girls when Lindsay Lohan jumps over the
Yeah.
table and like tackles.
Yeah.
Like, what kept you from that?
I didn't say a word. I looked at her like an angry silverback gorilla. Like, I'm going to rip your fucking face off. But I couldn't say a word. I was just...
I can already tell you.
It was
Like,
so
I can
awful.
see what this person looks like. Just a total.
Got that red hat on. Just
Can I
Oh,
say? Can
no,
I
I'm
say?
just kidding.
Can I say bitch in the term of
Yeah,
like? Just a
I said
bitch.
worse. I said worse.
What's a bitch? A cunt?
Yeah.
Just a shitty,
I sure
snarky,
did.
just young, probably young, like fresh 21. Like, but I know
Well,
everything. I know everything.
Yeah, I know everything.
No.
You just won't get cancer if you don't eat like shit.
so.
Yeah. Fuck you, dude.
God.
Feminism aside, we can say that she was being a cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and
That's
there's
exactly
nothing
what I
wrong
said
with
when
that.
I got home, so it's okay.
If you drink kombucha twice a day, you would never get cancer.
You wouldn't have gotten cancer.
Did she have
it's your
vocal
own
fry?
fault.
Yeah, was she talking like
Oh my
that?
God. Yeah, pretty much. But
My
yeah, so
uncle.
going back, like everyone in my close network was very just the best to me. So
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, you wouldn't expect any less from the people
Right.
that care about you and that you care about people that are important to you. But yeah, it's interesting because I just wonder, like, somebody that's been through this, like when that happens and you have to tell people, like, I was curious as if to like anybody like distance themselves from you because they
Oh.
couldn't deal in their personal life, like
no.
you have, but we have good friends.
That's the thing. And like we all have like our top 5, like our very close, like family besties. And so like that's who I talk to. And then they talk to everyone else for me. Cause I was like, I can't do this right now. Like, I just need you to know and you can tell whoever you want. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So moving forward, the day you found out you were in remission, like how did that go down? Like,
well, nobody even like said anything to me. There was no celebration.
Josh is jacking off
wanna-
over here.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, it's
Sorry.
getting me.
Are you good?
I'm good.
All right.
You done? Okay.
By all means, please continue your story.
But yeah, it was just a typical chemo day, and then it wasn't until I was done, my nurse was like, you getting out of here? And I was like, this was my last infusion. And he gave me a hug and that was really like it. And then Philip and I had pizza.
It's like, all right, back to normal.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then I listened to Cypress Hill Ain't Going Out Like That on
Hell
the way
yeah.
home.
Dude, okay. Not to trivialize,
Right.
but like I want to think of the best cancer song in case I ever like get really sick.
That's
like,
my number one cancer song.
That might be the
Yeah.
number one cancer
Going
song.
out like that.
What would yours be? Like, do you have something that comes to mind?
I was gonna say
Because that must
one-
be like a glorious moment.
Yeah, it was.
Like, oh man.
But it wasn't even until like then I had a checkup like 3 months later, and that's when she was like, "You don't have cancer anymore." So it wasn't even. It was like I had to wait a
3
while.
months?
Yeah.
That's a long 3 months.
Well, actually, I take
That's
that
a
back
long
because I
3
had my like regular checkup, which was like a week and a half later, but
Okay.
it was still like 3 months later
I
when
would
it was
just be
official.
beating down the door,
Yeah.
like, clear me now.
Well,
clear me now.
The thing was, like, after I had my surgery, I technically didn't have cancer anymore. It was removed from my body, you know? So this was like just considered to be preventative, but you can't view it that way when you're in the middle of it, you know? Like,
Interesting.
because I was like, I don't have any cancer in my body, but I'm a cancer patient, you know?
Right. Okay.
So,
That's
weird.
blowing my mind right
Yeah.
now because, so they took out the tumor.
Mm-hmm.
And did they tell you that, like, okay, we're taking this out, you have no more, but we're doing this just in case there's like a root or some sort of...
They did like a flush kind of test while they had me like splayed. And so they take that liquid and test it to see if it has... well, actually, I don't know if this is true or not, but there's like a cancer indicator that's in your blood. It's called the CA-125. So for a normal person... And it's just like genetic, environmental, you know, there are different factors in it. But for normal people, the range is between 1 and 35. Okay. So before I had my surgery, they did that on me. They took a blood test and it was 342. Okay. So I think that whenever they did the flush, it's still like that same kind of, it might not be the CA-125, but it's something similar to that.
Okay.
So they just kind of like ran labs on it. And she was like, well, we don't see anything, but since it went from, so basically, whenever I fell originally, my vein ripped because it was already growing a tumor, but it was completely undetectable at that point. So it went from, in 11 weeks, it blew up to 25 centimeters. So that's why she was like, well, since it blew up this quickly, like, this is very irregular, you know? So she was like, I just want to do everything we can, like, while we can. So
if you wouldn't have fell...
So I could have said no to the chemo. But I was like, fuck that.
Right.
So if you wouldn't have fell...
Yeah.
It was undetectable.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe
but then,
20 years down the road...
Yeah, and then it could have been like stage 4, you know?
Yeah.
So thank God for those fucking dogs.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. It all comes back to the dogs. So, yeah.
What's the thing? Like, that's the thing that freaks me out all the time. Like, I'm not a hypochondriac like somebody at the table.
I am now.
I am.
If I get any kind of like bad feeling for long periods of time, like my shoulder's been hurting. It's been about 1.5 years. I should probably go check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And
my shoulder hurts now.
I went to go check it out. And I'm getting like dizzy spells and headaches. And they did a little MRI. And the whole time, takes time to get that process.
Yeah.
And I was the whole time I was like, got brain cancer. I'm going to die. I'm going to fucking die. That's it. I'm done. And then it came back. It was fine, but there were some irregularities. And found out that my brain's apparently weird, but that's all. That's what the guy said. He goes,
your brain's weird.
I could have told you that 15 years ago, dude.
I've been saying that for years.
No, the guy the doctor who they give the report to, the MRI report, sat me down, turned the lights on, and goes, take a look at this. I was like, is it bad? He goes, not necessarily. And it's like, there are spots in my MRI. I was like, are those bad? Is that tumor? He's like, no. He's like, how old are you? At the time, I was like, 32. I was like, huh. I only see this usually in 60 to 70-year-olds. I'm like, shit. He's like, so, yeah. I'm like, damn.
So there's that information.
Thanks.
You know?
I have the brain of an old man.
Yeah, that's going to help me sleep at night. Thanks a lot.
Do I have Benjamin Button? Does that? So it's like, what can we do? He's like, nothing. I've just never seen this before. I'm like,
that's not what I want to hear.
Right?
I am a hypochondriac, like, be the first to admit it. I always just kind of feel bad, like, as a 35-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, should I feel this just kind of like not great all the time? Like,
yeah.
I see people running and like climbing.
Fuck runners.
Every fucking morning when I drive to work or do something, and there's just that just in their little red coyote suit, and they're just fucking running. Like, what the fuck? It's 7 o'clock in the morning.
I wish I could be.
Me too, but I don't do that.
That's the thing. They make us all look bad.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I had a little blonde ponytail bouncing back and forth and like a shapely ass and arches, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't ever feel like really bad, but I look back and I'm like, when's the last time I felt great?
Right.
Like, I idle low. I'm in a old Chevy truck.
You know, when's the last time I felt no pain that I wasn't under the influence of some sort of drug?
Mm-hmm.
Like, some sort of jug. Some sort of jug. Imagine you passing around like the old moonshine jug.
Juggalo.
Oh, of course. That's what I would play, actually.
Yeah.
ICP.
Yeah.
I think that would be my
sure.
song.
Don't
That
die,
311.
Jugga Hope.
311.
311 would definitely be.
If you were cleared of, let's just say, AIDS, I don't know. Would you blast 311?
I'll
in the
be here
car?
a while. Ain't going nowhere.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Oh, I can't even think. I don't know. Yeah, I never feel great. Maybe I should do something about that. I don't know. I'm worried, JD. Like, I'm
You're
really
young.
worried.
You're a young man.
Well,
I'm not young anymore.
You're not young anymore.
I have got away with that for the last 10 years, and guess what?
I'm not anymore.
I'm not.
Dude, I want if there like a full body scan, just something you just go to a hospital, like just scan me
I
and
wanna
make
do
sure it's cool.
Like the Matrix. I just want to dip
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
entire body in gel and then come out and see like I'm just imagining like a white zombie video where it's just like the brain scan to the toes.
Yeah,
Like,
and the
that's
doctor
what
goes, "Well, you're good." Other than
you
Other
look
than
like
your
fucking,
weird brain.
Your
Yeah, than
insides
your
look
weird
like
old man
fucking Swiss
brain.
cheese. But other than that,
Other
you're
than that,
fine.
you're fine. I think that's what everyone wants to be able to just or like a scan, like a wand, like a little. You're good. Like fuck, thank God. But it's so hard that you make appointments. Like you said, if you wouldn't have fallen from those dogs, would you even thought to go to the doctor and be like, hey, you know what? Did you had no pain or anything around that area? It just
Before? No. Yeah.
It just
That's
just
fucking
happened.
nuts.
It's so weird. It's so serendipitous.
Some would
it's
say-
crazy.
some would say that's a blessing.
Oh, some would. Some have.
Some have.
yeah.
That was Jesus.
So let me ask you
God
this.
is good, y'all.
So, when you got the good news, things cleared up. Like, I would just imagine, like, I would wake up in the morning and like throw open the sash, so to speak, and like, just really enjoy my.
I feel great.
Yeah,
like a musical.
Yes, exactly. There'd be like little blue birds.
Right.
Yeah.
My coffee would taste better. The sun would be brighter. My car would sound, everything. Like, did that happen, or was it just like, well, okay, snap back to reality?
No, it was
like
a very
Eminem?
slow transition back because I was still like pumped full of drugs.
Oh, yeah.
So I was still like the bone pain that was still going on for like weeks. I was still super weak. We were up on the 3rd floor of our building and I would have to like take 2 breaks like on each landing because I would just feel like I was going to pass out. So over weeks, I noticed that I was like getting my strength back. So it was a slow process. And then I didn't have any like little hair sprouts until right before Halloween. And then it came in as like baby hair. And then that starts to grow out and it breaks off. And then like your normal hair comes back in. And that's why my hair is curly now.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
It used to
Because
be straight.
I wanted to say you have beautiful hair.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah.
I feel very like Mary Tyler Moore today.
yeah,
for sure. I can see
thank
that.
you.
I can see that. I can see the connection there. What did that feel like when your hair was now curly?
Well, I will tell you, actually, whenever I started I guess like a nurse recommended that they had people do it just as like an exercise. And then in a book I read, they said to do it, but to do like a bucket list kind of thing. And so I've wanted a perm. I had perms as a kid. I was an 80s child. I definitely had perms, but I wanted to get a perm again. I've wanted one for years. So I wrote that down and I'm not even kidding. I found this like as my hair was coming back in and I was like, oh shit. Don't need a perm. Mark it off, baby.
Yeah.
Save me
None of that-
$30.
Yeah. Like
None of that
more like
weird
$200.
Yeah.
True. I was thinking like 80s perms.
And not that
Yeah.
weird perm smell.
A home
You know?
perm kit.
Body waves or whatever.
Yeah, it's
I
a
love-
body wave.
My mother was
My
a
mom,
hairdresser.
yeah, okay.
My sister is a hairdresser. Is that a wait?
That's
Can I-
Is that an Alan Jackson?
A
record?
beauty operator.
Yeah.
beauty operator?
That's what my grandma says.
I call my sister a hair bitch.
And that's the
that's
typical-
been the no. It's a term of endearment.
Okay,
I
was like,
promise.
no, I was like, don't call them that.
No, that's what
They don't like it.
that's what we used to call the scene girls back in the day. With like the
Oh,
raccoons.
yeah.
And yeah. Anyways, smelled the perm.
Moving on.
Smelled
Oh,
the
yeah.
perm many times. Like
Smelled the
perm.
was that a Trump?
I don't know.
Anyways, I like the smell of a perm, and I'll tell you
Do
this.
you
Jake,
really?
I do. It's weird. I like weird smells sometimes. And growing up, man, I always wanted a perm. There was this guy.
They were cool.
There was this guy.
Jonathan Timberlake.
No, no.
Maybe you've heard of him.
Ramen noodle head. No, there was this kid in that I went to school with. His name was Chance, and
Yeah, it was.
he had this mullet, and the back was like the tightest perm I've ever seen.
Oh my
It looked
God.
like a fucking Brillo pad in the back, and I was so jealous.
Yeah, you were.
I have always had the straightest, finest.
Yeah.
Some may say beautiful, some may say thin, somewhere in between.
Robbie, Everyone wanted your hair.
I'm a hairpochondriac. My hair is terrible.
No, your hair's great.
No.
Your hair's always
Look
been
like a
great.
fucking dad.
I want to tell you guys about this because Teresa, my friend in Seattle, just sent me this last night. I'll try and forward it to you. But I guess every year in Minnesota, somebody does, oh my God, I can't remember what it's called now. But he does like the best of hockey players' hair. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh my God. It is amazing. So many mullets still.
Well, hockey hair,
still.
yeah.
Just all of the feathered, like, just luscious
Glorious.
locks. Glorious. So this is like a 10-minute video, and he does like honorable mentions and they're all such bad boys. Like, it's amazing. So I will send that to you guys.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hockey players are bad boys.
Yeah.
Dude,
I can
they're the
tell.
baddest.
The mullets, like always the missing tooth.
Oh, so many like pencil mustaches.
Broken
too.
noses.
Yeah.
Broken nose too. Like with the
Yeah.
puck, like a puck slash across the nose.
Yeah.
They
They're
fight.
never okay. A
They
lot.
fight, they skate, they stink.
You know,
Yeah.
I never thought about it until just now. Like, why the mullet? And I think I figured it out. When
Is it
you
just
have
with
the
the
helmet on,
speed?
you can't have hair in your face.
Oh.
But you can keep the party in the back.
Yeah.
Well, the helmet smashes the top down. The mullet keeps the neck warm. Because you got to realize, like, they're
cold
on the
now.
It's
ice.
visible. It's an indicator to the fans, you know?
Who it is.
It's like,
Who's got that blonde mullet?
I've got
Oh,
this.
that's Brett Hull.
I've got this tiny.
I'm dating myself.
Yeah. I've got this tiny little window back
Yeah,
here that I
that's
can
your
just
chance.
let it fly.
This is my space right here.
I think mullets are kind of cool. Like not those like punk mullets. Like I've seen the punk mullets. But like
They usually have like steps and shit, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
like I have this dream of this like cyberpunk mullet,
Yeah.
right? And I'm working on it right now.
Like a Skrillex?
I used to have it. No, it's like long on top, kind of spiky maybe or messy.
Sure.
And then the back's kind of long too, but then like the sides, like if you just made like a shape around your ear, it was all shaved.
Oh.
I've done it before.
Like a horseshoe?
Kinda.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just imagining like horseshoe baldness on a guy now. Like, okay, I want to show my scalp on the top and then the back is real long. Like the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good look.
my
It's a
God.
good classic.
Imagine like sexy Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just,
It's
sorry,
really what I'm shooting for.
I just imagine someone literally going to a hair salon and requesting that. What do you want? Okay, just really just short on top.
Okay. Perm the
Long.
back, wax the top.
Like they're like wax, like peel it off.
No, like rip my fucking hair off, please.
Crypt Keeper. Give me the Crypt Keeper.
Oh, that's good
Oh,
stuff.
man. Yeah.
You know, laughs, tears, everything tonight.
All of it.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to change the subject a little bit.
Oh, yeah?
What's going on in your world, Josh?
Oh, there's so many things going on in my world.
We haven't talked in like
Couple-
days.
Like hours. Hey, you ever bought a new car before? That's weird.
Yeah.
I bought a new car 3 months ago,
Okay.
and I still haven't made a single payment on it.
Oh.
And
Are
also,
you feeling guilty?
it doesn't
Like,
belong to anybody.
What do you mean?
Well, it's funny.
Do tell.
Funny you ask. So I go. The car's great. It's an awesome
Fell
car.
right into
Fucking
it.
love it. And it's not a buy here, pay here. I went to a reputable business,
Mhm.
Good on you.
purchase a car. I'm thinking, great. I'm gonna have a nice new car. Well, paperwork gets lost. So in 30 days it gets canceled. So they have to do it again. That was one round. Second round was the dealership and the bank had a confusion of terms, I guess. So then it went to another 30 days.
Mhm.
So I just got my third paper tag tonight on my car. Third.
Okay. Wow.
You told me about this at work the other day.
Yeah.
And like, it sounds cool to not make a payment, but the dad.
Oh no,
in
I'm
me-
stressing the fuck out about it.
Yeah,
You know, I
that
told
sounds
the guy
stressful.
today, it's like, he goes, thanks for being so cool about this. I'm like, you know, I am, but I'm freaking out. It's like, what do you mean? Like, I don't want to fuck anything up. I don't want to miss a payment. I don't want my tag to be out. You know, I don't want to have to pay any extra fees. I want to make sure this is all on the up and up. So that's why I keep asking you, hey, what's going on? 10 years ago, me, I would have been like, fuck it, it's a free car.
Yeah.
But no.
The dad in me is like, free car sounds cool, but like, boy, I'm delaying that payoff.
It's going to catch
Yep.
up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
No, exactly.
I'm so close to paying my car off. I bought a new car about 3.5 years ago. almost done. And, you know, it's funny how they start to fuck up like as soon as you
It's
get
like
out
they
of warranty. I'm trying to be like a 90s comic over here. The thing about cars is...
Where's your jacket? Yeah.
I'll go put it on. Hold on. No, it's almost paid off, but I'm like, I know as soon as it's paid off, I'm going to have so many problems.
Well, here's the thing.
Dump money into it.
Driving this car around for 3 months now, I'm starting to have that feeling already of like, I see the mile gauge.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like... I've already put like 5,000 miles on this car.
5,000?
Not really 5,000.
Okay.
We drove it to...
Where are you driving to the moon?
We drove it to like Lawrence and shit and driven it around. I'm like, it's a matter of time before the thing starts falling apart. Maybe my dad was right. Just buy cash. Just pay some cash. And now I can't. I mean, I guess I still could be like, listen, you guys fucked up. Here's the car back. Have fun.
Yeah. Just take it.
Thanks for the free car. Dick move. That's a PFM move.
That's a classic Josh move.
That's a classic
it's
old
like,
school.
Hey, not my problem.
Yeah.
Take your car
Bye.
back.
Not my problem. Take your car back.
Sorry, it smells like urine.
Oh, because I
don't know
pissed
how
in
that
it.
happened.
Don't know how that happened. If you find any weed in it, it's mine.
So speaking of cars, do you drive?
I do. I have a Nissan Altima.
How is that?
It's a great car.
It's good. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Classic car.
I like
Anyways,
it.
okay, so
Anyway.
back to you, Josh. I'm just kidding.
Thanks
I
for
don't know
having me,
your-
guys.
That you asked how I was doing. That's what I'm dealing with. In a new house and a new studio.
Yeah, you have a
with
new
the podcast.
house.
You have a lot of new things going
Yeah.
on.
Dude,
How's that
it's-
new house
It's a
treating you?
world of new. Fucking love this house, man. Although, like you and I have talked before, get a new house, new things. You get used to it.
Mhm.
My wife and I found that for some reason now, the living room area has a certain smell to it.
Is it a ghost?
No, we're trying to figure out what the hell it is.
Ghost urine.
It's an old house. Like we don't let the dogs in the house like run around in the living room anymore.
No one ever let him out?
They maybe did.
I did.
So we're trying to figure out like
You finally the question has been answered.
You know what? 2016. I
JD
fess up.
Let's let the dogs out.
that's
I'm gonna think of you every
I
time
did.
that
I
song
hope
comes
so.
on, and I'm gonna shed a single tear, a happy tear.
No, what you do, you need to isolate her going, I did. And then that, I did.
I did.
I did.
I'm fine. So new house, new
Yeah,
smells.
new house.
What is, okay, let's slow down here. What is this smell? Because I'm
What
picturing.
does it smell
It's a
like?
very-
Hold on. Can we guess?
Ooh, okay.
Can we play a little game?
I like ghost urine.
You're not far
but go
off.
on.
I love that band.
Oh, they're so great.
They're playing at 89th Street Collective, January 27th.
Yeah, Weak Boys are opening up for them.
Hey.
Shout out Weak Boys. Shameless self plug.
Way to name your band after our podcast, by the way.
I did not
Anyway.
name the band. Anyway, so
Yeah,
what are your
right.
We're gonna guess. Okay, we had that first guess, which was a joke, but I'm gonna guess sour washcloth.
Oh, I don't even know how to top that.
Well, you can't because he's correct.
Oh, is it? Okay, well then.
Now we're trying to
good,
figure
I don't
out,
have to
is
answer.
it because it hasn't been lived in a while? Maybe the downstairs bathroom needs to be flushed or the water needs to be circulated? Perhaps that.
Have you sniffed around to see
Oh,
where
I
this
did
is
I
coming
did a
from?
sniff round and a flashlight
test?
around.
I did a sniff around.
Classic dad.
Yeah, I
Where's
gotta
the
get on
flashlight?
all knee. You gotta move, lift the couch up, do a sniff round. Maybe the cat got somewhere and pissed on something. But it's a distinct. It is. It's like you wash a towel, but you don't dry it.
Mm-hmm.
It's that smell.
We used to call that Stone Sour. I don't, because of the band. There was a band called Stone Sour. So when Matt and Colin and I lived together, somebody would like leave their fucking clothes in
Who's
the
Stone
washer.
Sour at the
We'd
clothes?
be like, hey, Stone Sour. And then the other thing was, I don't know why. The other thing was if somebody like had some quarters in their pocket and they put their jeans in the
Oh,
dryer.
my God.
Who's
Clank,
money
clank.
laundering?
Oh,
every
good one.
time. I still say
Good
it.
one.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's the most annoying sound, though.
Don't touch the leather.
If someone leaves quarters in their pocket and it's just jing jang like oh, it's
I
the
hate
worst.
it.
I hate that dude.
I've been
I can't
plagued
stand
by
it.
guitar picks. That's my thing. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm cheap, so I save my quarters, but it's the guitar picks that always get me.
Mhm.
It's the worst. And Erica, little tiny pieces of toilet paper and
Oh,
tissue
yeah.
and little things.
in her pockets.
Just little crumbs.
Well, like she'll get a little, a little wipe her nose or wipe her
See,
little.
my mom always taught me, pull pull your pockets inside out. Make sure your pockets are clean and empty before you put your shit in there. I mean, they're Jinkos. Those are big pockets back in the day.
You fit a whole
lot
box
of
of
stuff.
Kleenex.
Yeah.
Bunch of stuff in there.
So the smell, is that the only problem?
That's it. I mean, it's large. There's only 2 of us. It's 2 of us, 2 dogs, and a cat. Like, we don't need all of the space.
It's a pretty good size house. I'm not going to lie.
But it's going to be good. Everyone says this. It'll be good for hosting. Do you ever host? No, I don't host. I will. I would love to host.
I host myself on my laptop on the couch, and it's really sad.
I host
a lot.
I host myself on the couch with a plate of nachos watching Westworld, because that's what I did Sunday night.
Here's the fucked up thing. I want to talk about Westworld for a second.
Please do.
Before
I
that,
haven't seen last night's episode yet.
All right.
So
I haven't seen any.
Oh, okay.
You got to get on that train, no pun intended, because there's trains in it.
Yes. I love a good train show. Anyways, the band.
Drop to Jupiter.
When I do invite people over, we hang out on the back porch. That's it.
Yes, it's a great spot.
I have a nice house. Like, it's not huge, but it's a nice house for entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But your back porch, your backyard is the selling piece of that house.
You think so?
I think so, because that's where you can have people all meet and they won't feel like they're bunched up in a room. But there's plenty of space outside.
Mm-hmm.
Your lighting's great.
Covered, good lighting.
Covered, it could rain. Your
fire pit.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Same with
do you
my
need?
backyard.
I have
That's it.
a beautiful dog.
Now you're just
That's really all you
bragging.
need.
True.
A dog.
Would you come over and let her out?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
You know that I will.
My ear hurts.
Yeah, a new house is weird. I always have trouble like falling asleep in a new house.
Mm-hmm.
I have trouble falling asleep in a hotel room.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Stayed in one last Friday, and boy, did I toss and turn
Was it
like
the sound
like
or
a
the
drunken
temperature?
asshole all night.
Was
all
it the sound or the temp?
Oh, it was cold. I fucking walk
Okay.
in and crank that shit down.
Yeah.
You get cold.
It's like a fucking meat locker
I do
in
too.
there.
Mm-hmm.
I did the same thing in the new house the other night. It got hot, way fucking hot. Like, you know when you wake up and it's too hot and you're like, all right, I'll deal with it. I'll take a blanket off. But then you start getting like that breathe, it's hard to breathe hot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like 2 a.m. Like, I'm just going to go downstairs and sleep on the couch. Went downstairs, slept on the couch, and immediately had that fucking childhood fear of like,
Of everything.
any noise. Like, because they like that. You hear this a lot, like a crick in the wood. Like, what the fuck was that?
They always say it's the house settling.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that, that's a goddamn ghost. So I turned on the
think it's a
TV for
ghost.
background noise. I'm like,
Yeah,
you
I
ain't
do.
getting me, ghosts. I know ghosts fear TVs being on,
Yes.
and your feet have to be underneath the blanket, and they will not get you. So that was my thing.
Yes.
I'm just imagining a ghost in your house that's like covered in a wet blanket that smells bad, just urinating
just
everywhere.
urinating.
Just pissing.
I got the piss ghost.
Okay, so we have to wrap up here pretty soon.
Sure. Okay.
But I had something on the list that I wanted to address tonight, and it's something that's been on our list for a while, and I thought this might be a good time to ask. But you're a man of many jobs.
Sure.
I'm a man of many jobs.
Yeah.
I want to know. Let's just talk for a moment. Worst job you ever had? Because this has been really plaguing my brain. Because man, there's some like really shitty jobs out there.
yeah.
And I've never had like a terrible I've never had to like pull shit out of a tube.
Yeah, me
or
neither.
anything like that.
Thankfully, right?
Yet.
Yet.
But I want to know what's one of your worst jobs or worst experiences at a job. I'll start. My first job, I worked at Brahms, and I was 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Brahms. I've always been a Brahms boy.
Great burger.
It's a great burger, great ice cream, whatever.
Crinkle cut fries, can't beat it.
I started when I was 15, saving up for a car. My father had to drop me off one summer for work, pick me up. It was right down the street from my house. A little too far to walk, but, far enough for my dad to take me. They open at 5 a.m. So I had to be at work at 4:15 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Every Saturday this summer.
No.
Dude,
oh, the
fuck
summer?
that.
No.
The summer of my 15th year
No,
on the
no,
earth.
no.
Fuck. You should be getting out and you should be in bed. Well, you should be at
You should just
15.
be getting home.
I hate to date myself.
That's 15, yeah. I just-
I was making $4.30 an hour.
Wow.
Four crisp $1 bills.
And after taxes, you're making
Three
like
crisp
maybe $1.50,
No,
$2.75.
it was like $3. Three oneers. Just
Yeah.
Imagine somebody going, an hour of your time hurting your arm scooping ice cream. Here's $3.
Not only that,
I just picture an old man like licking each bill, you know, like to count it and hand it to
some
you.
Some
just
fat
like,
cat and like suspenders and like his shirt's too tight. And that guy,
he's like smoking a cigar for no reason.
Yeah,
he looks like an ice cream cone.
Like he's in the walk-in freezers where his desk is because he likes it cold. That guy. I worked at Brahms, and it's not just $3 an hour for scooping ice cream, which I was front line too. I was cone line, so I called it.
You know, looking back, he was right on the front line of the mint chocolate chip.
It was cone line. But then you're like lifting buckets and like mopping and all kinds of shit.
That shit was hard
Dude,
work.
I quit
I'm sure.
my Brahms job in the exact way. Oh, not the exact way, but it's very half baked. The fuck you, you're cool. It was I was 16. And the law then, it may still be now, if someone's under the age of 18 and they work for you, you can't keep them past a certain time.
Oh.
And
right.
It was like,
I remember that.
And it was like 10:30 or 11 or something. Mm-hmm. And it was midnight. And I was like, dude, I got to go home. I got to go to school in the morning. And this bitch ass manager she was like, oh, she was this cruel, mean.
Hold on. Was she a cunt?
She was a cunt. Dude.
Okay.
Can I say that?
I guess. She already did.
High button, just high
Sorry,
button,
Jennifer.
just tense, just she hadn't had love in her life ever. By mothers,
man.
fathers,
Yikes.
anybody. Just that kind of mean person. And I was like, I gotta go. She's like, you'll stay until you finish mopping. I'm like, you know what? And I kicked the mop bucket over and I go, fuck this shit, and I left. That's when I
Because
quit
you're
Brahms.
16, what else are you supposed to do?
I'm angry. I'm listening to Blink 182 and Green Day. I mean, I got a lot of angst.
I just imagine if I did that, I would have been like, fuck you, and kicked over the mop bucket and then walked outside and waited for my dad to get me. Like, that would have been terrible.
Fuck you.
I can imagine she'd come out and be like, you might as well come back in and finish.
It's cold outside.
Yeah, your dad's like 30 minutes away.
I thought you were going to go like, fuck you, and try to kick it, and the mop bucket just scoots across
Or like
the
just
ground.
dumps over.
I wish. What you got a worse job?
Well, I don't really know. I can tell you the job that I quit the quickest. That was at Irma's. So
Did that? I worked there too.
did you?
wait, which one?
The Midtown?
Okay.
Where's the other one?
63rd.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Okay, so I was at the Midtown one. It was right when they opened.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was on my third day.
Good band.
And oh man. Yeah, so somebody had put up like the next week's schedule in place over the current schedule. So I got my times mixed up. And so I came in like 15 minutes later than I should have. And I was like, oh, well, I'm sorry. I thought that this was the time. And she's like, well, that's next week's calendar. And so I had to sweep up this like storage closet that was full of dead crickets. And you know that smell?
Oh,
the
yeah.
dead cricket smell, just like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bitter, but it's just...
It's
Stone sour.
Yeah, it's just stone sour.
It's totally stone sour.
And it was like under a staircase, so it went, like to a point. So I had to crawl back there with all these dead crickets, and some of them were alive, so they were just like jumping at me. And then that smell was fucking terrible. And then there was like sawdust back there because it was a brand new building. And I finished my shift and I was like, I'm never going back there.
Oh,
Bye.
no, I thought you were about to go, fuck that, kick over my bucket and leave.
No, I'm too non-confrontational.
No, I
was
worked
like,
there.
I just won't come back. It's fine.
I worked
I'll
at Irma's too. I've had 55 jobs.
Whoa.
Yeah.
This guy's had some jobs.
It's
I've
on
had
the
about
list.
15 or 20. I'd
Diana
say.
and I got real drunk and other things one night. And
Love that show.
Because she was like, we always drive by a place and you're like, I worked there once. She's like, how many jobs do you have? I'm like, you want to do this? So we sat down, mapped it out. I've worked 55 jobs.
Man.
I'm 34 years old. But a lot of them are those like, you show up and you go, fuck this one.
I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this. Like, not even get to lunch break. Like that first 15-minute smoke break. Like, I'm going to go smoke. See you later.
Not even gonna get the check.
even gonna do
not
it.
even worth it.
Not even. Who gives a shit? There's probably so many fucking checks for $3 an hour.
You could probably retire on the checks that you've skipped out on.
Yeah.
probably should. Probably so.
I had another terrible job. Found an ad in the paper, and it was like, make money,
Oh, that's
Rockstar
that's
one.
already a bad sign.
set your own hours,
Ooh.
be your own boss,
That's how they get you.
networking opportunities. And my sister and I went because we were young stoners, hard up for cash. It was like the first third of Half Baked.
Yeah. Right.
And we show up, And we're like in this abandoned strip mall with like all these sad people.
Yeah.
All these tricked people. And this kid comes out and he's like 20 years old in like a terrible ill-fitting suit. It was like when a baby tries on his dad's suit and goes, I'm ready to go to work now, Dad. It was that. Like, it was terrible. He comes out and it was for a company called Cutco.
Okay.
They sell knives.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like vector marketing, that kind of shit.
That's exactly what it was. Vector marketing. They sell kitchen knives.
Did you work there, Josh?
No, but I've
For 1 hour, he did.
no, I've been to that. Went to one of those vector marketing ones and to a cologne one. The cologne one, I ran into Nick Johnson and we were both like, "Fuck this guy." Same kind of thing. The dude came out in like a shitty suit. It's like
Probably the same guy.
Probably the
goes,
same.
"Hey, you see that car out there?" And he pointed to some random like. Clearly
Like
rented
See
it.
that Mercury out there?
No, he's like, it was a Porsche, but it
That
was like,
Altima.
he clearly just rented it for the day. He's like, you can have that too. You just got to get out there and you got to, everyone wants to smell good. Dude, fuck that shit. I was like, nah, I'm good.
Man.
So I go in and my sister and I are like we're jazzed. We're like, you know what? Like, we're talkative people. We can do this. They made us rip pages out of the phone book
Oh my God.
and cold call people. And then the kicker was, hey, you got a big family?
Oh.
Bring these to Christmas. Bring these to Thanksgiving. Show these to your family. You know what? If you know an aunt that needs some knives, maybe she has a friend. And it was a fucking pyramid
Oh my
scheme.
God.
Like worse than The Office, worse than Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
It was the biggest pyramid scheme
Dude.
I've ever seen.
Oh, man.
I went back the second day
You
because I was
did?
like, man, you know what?
I
They
like
got
what they're
you.
saying.
Dude, you would have fell for a cult easy.
This was like Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I got it figured out. I'm going to be fucking rich.
Yeah.
The saddest thing, it was in like an old church building in a strip mall, and there was all these like not nice chairs like we're sitting in tonight, but like the the stackable chairs that you like grab the back of
With burgundy is what I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was one office chair in the complex, like one nice swivel office chair. And the person that made the most cold calls got to sit in the swivel chair. And I was like, what kind of concentration
my
camp
God.
bullshit is this?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, they make you buy your own. You have to buy this.
There's an initial investment, but there's going to be a great return.
Dude, you're
It's
good
great.
at this.
There's the greatest knives of all time.
And that's what. Okay, take it back.
Huge.
Trump is a pyramid scheme guy. I mean, that's what Trump University was. That's what all of his shit was. All of his businesses were pyramid schemes that he just schemed people into doing. You want to work with the greatest company of all time.
He fucking pyramid schemed his way
America!
Yeah.
to the top.
Yeah, he sure did.
This has been Boys Podcast.
Jesus Christ. Fucking Kid Rock over there.
Jesus.
Look out,
But
look
that,
out.
sorry, it all came like it made sense. He did. He pyramid schemed his way into America's pants. And now we're gonna have to suck his dick on prom night.
Wow.
I know. Just
That's
I'm thinking
bleak.
Alec. I think Alec or
I think I'd rather die.
Oh, yeah.
well, you know. For 4 years though, it's gonna be rough.
It'll again going
gonna
back
come
to
and go.
the silver lining. It's only 4.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. There's no way this clown is going to be
Yeah.
reelected.
I don't
I was
know.
saying this
Well,
a month ago.
yeah.
I think weed is the saving grace here. I think weed being legalized in a bunch of states and being decriminalized in our state, I think it's gonna.
I wish I could remember the guy's name. Like it's slipping my mind right now. But
Hitler?
no, it's the attorney. It's the guy that might be attorney general.
Oh, the one that Bud Scott was telling us about.
The Cotton from King of the Hill. He came. There was a thing that Joe Rogan actually retweeted last night, and it was like he came out on the record in April of this year saying marijuana smokers are bad people.
Wow.
Like, boy, what a sweeping
General,
generalization.
yeah.
Like, because, marijuana is the thing that brings a lot of people
Oh, yeah.
together.
Mhm.
Like, all kinds of people smoke pot.
Well, you can't. That's the thing. Like
All class
yeah.
divisions, all races, all genders, all sexual identity, everything. Everybody likes to get stoned.
Yeah.
Like,
but you can't turn it back. And once the genie's out of the bottle, you can't put it back in. Like it's done. It's out. So if he wants to come in as attorney general and be like, marijuana is illegal, good fucking luck. Good luck.
It's
having people not fucking riot in the streets of like, dude, no.
well, that's an interesting thought because, yeah, the genie is out of the bottle, so to speak. Like, it was just passed in like 8 more states or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
it's a thing now.
Mhm.
Like, But can the genie be put back in the bottle federally?
I don't think so.
Right.
No,
I
'cause it's
really
state
don't
by
think
state.
so. Yeah.
I mean, it's still federally illegal.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you go to a state, you're totally fine. Barack Obama's thing was he wanted it to be federal, but thought it might have been too early or not enough people to back it. But apparently now, fuck.
I mean, I'll say it before and I'll say it again. Like, everyone I know smokes pot or
Everyone.
has smoked pot or is cool with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm including my religious family members who I know.
yes, like I was raised in church, and like even the people that are in my family that are church going people and believe in God and will bring God up in conversation, or the people that will say, I prayed for you.
Yeah.
They smoke pot or have or will or are okay with it. So it's like,
Right.
just as Don Henley once said, get over it. Seriously, get the fuck over it.
How many musical cues are we going to have
A
tonight?
bunch. Okay, so we have got to wrap up here soon.
Oh, Jesus. You
So,
said that earlier. But
I know, but this has been so fun.
Yes.
JD, I'm so glad to have you on.
Yes.
You're
I'm
a
so happy to be
beautiful
here.
human, and I'm so glad you're not
you.
dead.
Thank you.
I mean
Me
that from the
too.
bottom
that's like
of
the
my heart.
nicest
Thank
thing you could say to someone. Hey, I'm
I
glad
know.
you're not dead.
I really am.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
I'm
it.
glad
Thank
you fell, and I'm glad you're not
Yeah,
dead.
right?
It's
Glad I let the dogs out.
She did leave the dogs out.
Well, she let him out. She didn't
Let
leave
him
him
out.
out.
I
she
didn't
didn't
leave
leave
him
them
Hold
out.
on.
Did you leave them out?
They're back in now, right?
Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that. Just kidding.
Ugh.
They're probably cold.
They're probably cold.
Yeah, fuck 'em, they're
It's
dogs.
been 2 years.
They're hungry.
And
Well,
ladies,
actually, it was funny when I fell. Both dogs like came and were licking like my face, and I was just like, I can't.
they knew.
You guys, they knew.
They knew.
They knew. They're like, fuck.
You met my dog, right? Olivia? The
little
beautiful Boston Terrier?
Yeah,
Beautiful
just for a
is a subjective
second,
word.
because she was inside whenever we were recording, and
That's
so
right.
she just came out like during a break for a minute. So yeah,
I miss her. I need to go home and pet
yeah,
her right now.
it's about
Yeah.
time.
I feel like tonight kind of maybe made me like closer to
You
her.
appreciate her.
I mean, that
Yeah.
story you told, I was like, she would have licked my face too.
Yeah.
She would have.
Oh, a dog
She
could
knows.
save your life.
Well, and then like all throughout my treatment, Ayla, that's when I was saying like she was Philip's dog, but now she's our dog. Because during that time, I started calling her Nanak because she like started taking care of me. Seriously, it would like bring me to tears. It was, yeah, her whole demeanor changed. So from that point on, I'm like, that's my baby. I love her.
How's she doing now?
She's good.
What kind of dog?
She's half husky, half lab. So she kind of,
a
she has
big
like the
dog.
Spitz look, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like a Brendel kind of German Shepherd-y.
I'm getting teary eyed
I
over
know.
here.
I
just
saw.
thinking
I
about
saw
it.
the
You see my little
twinkle.
glimmer?
Well, let me tell you. On 4th of July, she protected me from the fireworks, and I just like cried my eyes out when I realized what was going on
Right.
because she just like would butt up next to me.
I was gonna say quick story.
Yeah,
Like,
let's hear it.
No, yours.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
the
No,
protection.
so yeah, people in Seattle, everyone like shoots off fireworks all
Right.
over the city. It was kind of crazy because I was like, are these gunshots? I'm from Oklahoma City. What are you doing? But every time it would happen, like I was in the bathroom at one point, like I don't know, like practicing
Shitting or
my
something.
eyebrows or some shit, you know, whatever. And like she came and she would like butt up next to me, and whatever direction the sound was coming from, she would like face that way. And she did it like 6 or 7 times before I realized what she was doing.
That's
And then I
adorable.
just like cried.
That's
just cried and
adorable.
cried.
I'm seriously like
It was
snotting
so
up right
sweet. Yeah. Anyway.
My shit ass dogs will not protect me from
now. Your dogs
nothing.
suck.
I have little tiny shit ass dogs.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have Charlie and Nate. Nate's a Papillon and Charlie's a mutt. He's like
A
ter-
whippet?
A Whippet Terrier.
Oh, whippets are
mutt.
cute.
He's getting more lovely as he gets older. I've noticed that though. You start petting him like you're gray as fuck. Like my dog is gray as fuck.
Oh,
Erica said that last night. We were watching TV, watching a Thunder game,
Mm-hmm.
and she looked over at Olivia. She kind of has a love-hate relationship with
Yeah.
Olivia. Like, I know deep down she loves her, but she puts on this hard facade.
Right.
And she looked at her. She goes, "Wow, she looks old."
Aww.
She's like, "It's the first time I've noticed she looks old. Look how gray she is." And I looked over, and my dog was looking at me with these big eyes, and I could see the gray
Yeah.
all around.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had her for like
You just don't
9
think-
years, 10
you don't
years.
think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. So she's like 12 or 13 years old at this point. I'm like, wow. Like she's still very like spunky,
Mm-hmm.
but she's starting to get
But it's
starting to
starting
get a little
to
skinny,
happen.
starting to get a little
Yeah.
old, starting to get a little slow, a little grumpy,
Yeah, right.
a little stinky, like all of the above. But
Gassier
yeah,
than usual.
I think we should go cry about our dogs.
Right.
Because you're getting a little
Okay.
glassy too over there. I can see
Don't get
that.
me started.
Well, again, thank you so much for
Yes,
coming
thank you
on.
for having me.
And again, broadshop.com.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Pop up 51st Street Speakeasy.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Get out there.
December tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
What?
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, quick addendum to the episode. We broke for the evening, went outside to get some fresh air. And Jennifer, you had something important to say?
I wanted to mention that I brought a couple of impressions with me, and I don't know how good they are, but I just thought I'd throw them out there. So, my first one, it's a quick one, so you might miss it, but it's share. Okay. Whoa. That's all. That's it.
That was a good one. It was very visual.
It's
though.
it's more visual than anything, but that's it. And then my other one, it's really disgusting. I know it. It's Betty Boop.
Oh, no.
I don't do it a lot. Usually I do it. You can tell that I'm drunk if I start doing it in public, but okay. Let's see. Boop, boop, beep, doop.
Okay.
That's it.
Fucking fantastic.
I like that. I'm
That's
going
all
to
I
look for
got.
that in the future, too. I'm like,
gross.
she's wasted.
It's gross.
We're just going to isolate that. That will be the intro to the show from now on. In fact, it'll be like the boys, the little guitar intro.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Boop, boop, beep, doop.
Yep. Done.
Did she not go like, boop, boop, be doo, oh, oh.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Here, let me do it in its entirety then. Okay.
Quiet on the set.
Boop, boop, beep, doop, boop. That,
There you go.
yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
What a weird character Betty Boop
I
was.
know.
I've never really I am a boop head, but I've never really dove into.
We call ourselves boopers, thank you.
What was Betty Boop?
A person, a human with
Was
a
she
giant cranium.
She had a problem.
There's no denying that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she might have been an alien.
Yeah.
What was she a performer?
Okay, so I always heard that she was based off of Clara Bow.
Yes.
Okay, but then I also recently it's been revealed that she was actually based on an African American flapper.
Ooh.
So that's kind of come out in the past couple years, but I don't really know.
Weird.
Yeah, so
That is
apparently
some
that's
weird,
been a
wild
secret.
stuff.
Yeah.
Talking about impressions.
Oh,
Some of us have some really crazy impressions.
You had a little whistle going there.
I know. I know. I can never do a whistle, but I do a Carson somehow.
Was that a gopher doing Johnny Carson?
And there's some weird. If you guys ever some wild stuff.
You sound like a gold prospector doing Johnny
Yes.
Carson.
Why would a gold prospector
That's
know
good.
Johnny Carson?
He saw the future.
Oh,
yeah.
A la Westworld. Anyway,
Okay, last thing. Westworld.
it's tight.
Sell it to me. I need a push.
The thing is, you can't
invest.
you can't really sell too much because the whole point of the show is you're supposed to see it as it comes.
What do you know about it?
I know that it was written or conceived by Michael Crichton.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's Western. It's a Western theme park
Yes.
that has gone awry
Right.
or has been run down.
Going
or
awry.
Going awry? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And it's based off, I don't know if the 70s,
73.
if it's a book that was then a movie.
I believe it was a book that was done a movie. I know for sure it was that movie. And then there was Beyond Westworld and Future World.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't know about that.
Oh, there's 3 and they're all on Amazon. You should check them out.
Ooh, okay.
So basically this, from what I'm gathering, the show is based 30 years after the happenstance of Westworld, the movie.
Okay.
Kind of, I guess.
Yeah, so
Well,
they
keep saying
nod
there's-
to it quite a bit
they-
in
they-
a
they-
good way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and they also nod to they had the gunslinger in that one episode.
Nice.
So yeah, it's this. You're basically introduced to the park. The first episode, you're basically introduced to the park and the people that are in it, and then from there you find out that some of these people in this park are hosts, people who are robotic or AI that are in the park for people.
Okay.
And then there's other people who come there. They spend $40,000 a day just to play a role in this park
Mm-hmm.
and do whatever the fuck they want to. humans can't be harmed by hosts, but hosts can harm other hosts. And that's really all you need to know.
Okay.
From there, you'll get to know other characters, and you'll love characters, and you'll hate characters.
Okay. You've sold it.
Mm-hmm.
My personal goal is to watch this by next week.
You got HBO Go?
Well, I've got the internet, I'll watch it. Yeah.
Watch it.
Yeah, it's good. All right.
Can't skip apps either. Got to go linear.
All right.
I agree with that statement.
Should I watch it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, because I'm weird about TV. Like, I do like shows. I like my shows. But, man, it's real hard for me.
I think this is one of the ones that...
Yeah, I want you to start watching it.
Fantastic.
I want you to start watching it so we can bounce theories off of one another, because I have many theories about this show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Once again, JD.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much for coming.
Bye.
What the fuck was that?